Configuring the Genetec Clearance Video Request plugin. The Genetec Clearance Video Request plugin solves many problems for investigators who need to retrieve recorded video for their cases. Typically, investigators don't have access to the Video Management System, or VMS, and have limited knowledge of the physical camera location on site. Requests can take time, require complicated paperwork, and in general is a very manual process. The Clearance Video Request plugin creates a registry of selected cameras from the Security Center system it is connected to, so video can be quickly identified and requested from cameras of interest. This can be a surveillance camera, body-worn camera, or an in-car recorder. The plugin can help in automating the export process, and video requests can be handled immediately for selected users, or by a group of authorized approvers for everyone else. Within Clearance, we can show the selected Security Center cameras in their proper location on a map. Currently, federated cameras visible in the Security Center system the Clearance account is connected to are selectable and can be stored in the registry. Please note that the Genetec Clearance Video Request plugin is available for customers who are on Plan 200 or higher. Here's how the plugin works. Once everything is set up on the Clearance account and Security Center system it is connected to, investigators search for a camera and video clip they need as part of their investigation. When a video clip is requested, the request is sent from the Clearance web application and processed by the Security Center plugin. The plugin can be configured so that when a request is received, the video desired is encrypted and exported to a temporary location. This way, the video is not deleted as part of the archiver's cleanup process if it passes the retention period set for that camera, while the approval process for the request is still ongoing. If the video request is approved, the video is transferred to Clearance and can be associated with a case. The camera metadata is included and appropriate access rights are assigned based on the security policies of the case or the default policies for your Clearance account. If the request is rejected or the transfer is successful, the temporary video is deleted. Let's start looking at how we can configure the Genetec Clearance Video Request plugin, beginning on the Security Center side. The plugin is compatible with Security Center version 5.5 SR5 and above, and must be installed on a server and all the workstations. We recommend configuring the role to run on an expansion server so the performance of other servers is not affected. We will need to have a connection to the internet, and since all data that is at rest and in transit is encrypted, we'll be using port 443 for communication. Also make sure your Security Center license is updated and reflects the new part for the plugin. Of course, to install the plugin, we need to download it first. We can get the plugin from the product download section of the Genetec Technical Assistance Portal, or GTAP. Select your version of Security Center from the drop-down menu, then look under Genetec Add-ons on the right, and download the latest version of the Clearance Video Request plugin. We just need to unzip the package and run the setup.exe as an administrator, follow the instructions, and click Finish when the installation has completed. Once we have the plugin installed and the server restarted, we're going to have some new user privileges available. For anyone who will be configuring the plugin, the minimum privileges we'll need to set up are listed here. This is for the plugin only, so most configuration users will have much more than this. Now that we've got the software installed, let's start configuring the plugin in Security Center. Open the Config tool, go to the Home page, and start a Plugins task. Add a new entity, and select the plugin type. We'll get a pop-up window at this point, which will be running the configuration wizard. In the specific information page, select the server that will be hosting the role, the plugin type, and the database for the role. Once again, we recommend using an expansion server for this role. Click on Next, and that will bring us to the basic information page. Here we specify the role information, like the entity name, description, and the partition being used if applicable. We don't have a place to specify the failover server for the role in the wizard, as this feature is not available at the moment. That's all the information we need to enter, so hit Next and click Create in the Creation Summary page if everything looks correct. We can click on the Close button once the operation is successful and move on to getting the connection information for the role. We'll be back in the Config tool in a minute, so we can leave it open for now. Now we'll need to open up a web browser and connect to our Genetec Clearance account. On the left side of our Clearance homepage, click on the Configurations tab. You'll need to be an administrator to do this, so if you don't see configurations in the list of sections on the left, you'll need to get access or have someone who is an administrator set it up. From the Configurations section, select the Integrations subsection. From the Create an Integration section, click on the Genetec Clearance video request. You'll need to make sure this has been activated for your account, otherwise you'll be asked to contact support to enable this feature. Like with other integrations, give it a name and download the configuration file. Now let's jump back over to the Config tool to use that configuration file. If it's not still selected, go to the Plugins task and select the Clearance Video Request plugin role we created earlier. Go to the Properties tab of the role, then click on the Import Account Configuration File button. Select the .json file we just downloaded and apply the changes. This will connect the Security Center system with your clearance account and update the account ID field in the role properties. From the properties, there are a few other fields we need to set up. The polling interval determines how frequently the plugin checks for updates or sends requests back to clearance. The archive destination folder is where we are temporarily storing video while it is being uploaded to clearance. When the service has confirmed the file is on the clearance system, it is deleted from this folder. Next, we need to set up the cameras that clearance has access to on the Security Center system. Click the Camera Selection tab, click on the Add button on the bottom, and select any cameras to be added to the registry. Use the Control key to select individual cameras, or click on a camera, then hold Shift and click on another camera to select a range of cameras to add to the list. Click OK when you have the cameras you want to add selected, and apply the changes. We need to set up the people who can approve video requests next, which we do in the Request Approvers tab. Just like we did with the cameras, click Add, then select the users or user groups from the list, and hit OK when finished. Make sure that anyone we add on this list has a valid email address set up and has at least the minimum privileges we mentioned previously. Click Apply when you're finished. Before clearance users can start requesting video or creating request forms, we need to make sure they have the right security policies applied. We'll need to go back to the browser where we were signed into our clearance account, go to the Configurations section, and click on Video Request Policies. The first parameter we need to set is if we want to export the requested video before the request is approved. This keeps the video in a temporary storage location until one of the authorized approvers has a chance to look at the request and accept or deny it. This is used to protect video while the request is in progress, so it will not be deleted by the archiver if it goes over its retention period. If this is disabled, the video may be cleaned up before the request is approved and will not be available. Next, we need to add any users who can invite guests to submit video requests in the Manage and Invite Requesters section. Click on the Add button and add any existing users or user groups, or create a new group from here. In the next section, add any users or groups who will have the responsibility to approve or deny any video requests. After that, add users and user groups whose video requests will be automatically approved in the Auto Approve Video Request Security section. In this section, we can also add all regular users, which means only guests will have to have their video requests approved. The next section, Default Access Policy for all video requests, allows us to set the access policy users have to the video files that are received as part of a video request. Note that this does not affect the video files associated with a pre-existing case. The access policy defined in the case does not change. As part of an organization's video request policies or standards, we may want requesters to provide additional information when requesting video from a camera. We can set up customized forms in clearance to ask for this additional information. To be able to create and manage these forms, a user will need to be added to the Manage Video Request Forms section. By default, this is only given to the account administrators. Now that we have our security policies set up, let's take a look at the request forms we were just talking about. To set up a form, click on the Request Forms tab within the Configurations section. This will show us our list of forms and which one is active. We can create multiple forms from here, but we can only have one active at a time. To add a new form to the list, click on the Add button on the top of the Configurations section next to the list of tabs. Once the form is created, we'll be in the Edit screen. From here, the first thing we need to do is give the form a name. This is a mandatory field, but we can also give it a description if we would like. Now we can start adding elements to the form in the Editor section. Just drag and drop form elements from the right side into the editor and move them into their required position. Click on the Edit button in an element to modify its contents, click on the Delete button to remove the element, or click on the Copy button to duplicate the form element. Each element has its own parameters depending on the element type. For example, if we add a drop-down element, we'll need to specify if this is a mandatory field and must be completed, add a label to the element, provide any help text given to the requester, and set up the drop-down menu options. Once the form is set up the way we want it, click on the Save button to apply the changes. To make this form our currently active request form, click on the star icon next to it in our form list. At this point, we should have everything set up on our clearance account and Security Center system to start requesting and approving video requests from Security Center cameras.